And brother, you can literally live whatever existence you want to live. You know what I'm saying? I say this all the time, man. I say it when I'm speaking. I say it on my one-on-ones. And I say it to myself, man. There are a lot of times, man. There are a lot of days I wake up. I promise you this, man. I promise you this. There are a lot of days I wake up and I'm waking up, man. I'm coming here. I'm sitting in my office. I'm cutting this camera on. I'm sitting in my chair and I'm meditating. I'm just doing whatever I do. And I'll sit there for a second and I'll look around, man, and I'll be like, is my life, is it real? Like, is the experience that I'm having, is it real? Like, am I dreaming? I promise you this. And I'm not saying that as if, y'all know me, I'm not some wealthy guy. I don't have a garage full of foreign vehicles. I don't have a closet full of Gucci and Prada. I don't have none of that stuff. But my thing is, man, I've tapped into something that has allowed me to create this bubble and create an existence within it that I desire. Hey, these brothers. I know it's 0 dark 30, man, on this 4th day of January 2025. And since we've had 72 hours of acclimating to this new year, man, I figured it's time for us to get down to some real conversations, man. I was talking to a brother of mine, man, a guy that I served with some years ago. And we were talking about a singular truth, man. And the brother told me he had read the book. But he said, man, I got a question. Not really about the meat and potatoes of the book, man. He said, I got a question about something you put at the very beginning of the book, brother. Which is a dedication, man, which is just a couple of lines that I included, man. And what I said was this. I said, I was not created to be liked or admired, only to be understood. I was sent to uncover what was once hidden, and my task is to return it to those from which it was originally stolen. This book is dedicated to all things that are a reflection of my current state of consciousness. Not only do they show me who I am, but they also serve as evolving indicators that show my progression or retreat as I travel the path of life. Brother said, what do you mean by that, soul? And I said, well, that first part, man, it really means that, to be honest, brother, I really don't give a fuck about this place, man. And when I say I don't give a fuck about this place, I'm not saying it from a place of I'm miserable. I'm saying it from a place of like the things that entertain the far majority of men. Like I really have no interest in them, man. Like the chasing and having a multitude of women, the competing with my brother to show who has the largest, shiniest, fastest, thing. Like those things don't even entertain me. Like at some point, man, I realized that my objective, I can't speak for anybody else, man, but I know us as men, we're all on similar paths, right? At some point, I understood that my objective was to awaken my brothers, man. Was to uncover what was hidden. And when I say uncover what was hidden, like there are a lot of governing bodies. There are a lot of fraternal institutions. There are a lot of just entities put in place, man, that are building kingdoms, that have built nations off of certain knowledge that was stolen. In other words, a lot of entities, I'll keep using that word, man, are suppressing people with knowledge that actually came from those people, right? And in the book, what I'm saying is like one of my objectives, man, is to uncover that, is to give that information back to my people, man. is to give that information back to those that are in search of it. You know what I'm saying? Right. And the second part, when I'm talking about, all the things that are reflection of me, you got to understand, man, that everything in life is like everything we experience is a gauge. Everything is a gauge. The people in your life, the good relationships, the bad relationships, your financial situations, the good times, the bad times, the way things are at work, your health, everything is a gauge of your inner world. So all I'm saying, man, is all I'm saying to everybody, man, like look around yourself, man, and like because you can sit there and say one thing is taking place internally, but you got to understand, man, that your external world is a reflection of your inner world. So you can sit there and say you're at peace. You can sit there and say all these things. Your world is a reflection. Your world is telling you by law. Your world is telling you exactly what's going on the inside. And the thing is, instead of us getting mad or upset about certain things, man, let's just look at these things and go back in and do the inner work, bro. Go back in and do the inner work, bro. But a question I want to ask y'all this morning, man, is what is it that you want to do as God? What is it that you want to do as God? What are you talking about, soul? Well, I don't care what religion you are. I don't care what doctrine you read, whether it's the Bible, whether it's whatever, man. We all can come to the conclusion that we were made in the image and in the likeness of God. Even where is it? I'm not sure where it is in the Bible. It says ye are gods and other texts that say similar things. What is it that you want to do as God, man? You know what I'm saying? I remember one time, bro. This is some years ago, man. I was meditating and I was, quote unquote, what I was calling prayer back then. And I wanted this red truck, man. This was some years ago, man. I'm sitting there praying about this red truck. I mean, it was almost like a voice came and screamed to me, man, and said, like I've created you to do anything you want to do. And you're sitting here asking me for a red truck. And I felt so small, man, but it woke me up to saying, you know what? I gotta think bigger, not bigger as in bigger or larger material things, but I gotta think bigger as in why am I here? Who can I serve? How can I plug deeper into my purpose? You know what I'm saying? But when I say what is it you want to do as God, man, it makes me look at the chapter 1 in a singular truth for y'all that don't have a singular truth. Chapter 1 is called All Prayers Are Answered. Right? All prayers are answered. You have to understand this, man. Like, and I say this all the time, but when we talk about that entity we serve, man, you got to understand there is no rolling of the dice. There is no luck. All that's out the window, man. Everything that we know is exact and everything we know is precise. So when I say there are no unanswered prayers, bro, I mean that. I'm gonna read a line or two, man. There are no unanswered prayers, not one. Man should question why he would even serve an entity that bestows blessings upon some while vetting the request of some unfortunate others. At some point, man ceased utilizing the information that was most critical to him and simply made prayer an act of rolling the dice. He has neglected his inner workings and has resorted to praying as the heathens do. Prayer is so exact that man can trust it just as much as he trusts the gravity that governs the earth. I'm gonna tell you this, bro. I'm gonna tell you this. Like when I look back at life, man, when I look back at all of the highs, when I look back at all of the lows, when I look at the times I hit a rock bottom, when I go inside and do that inner work, man, I come to the conclusion, I come to the understanding, bro, that it was all me. It was all me. And I'm telling you, it's all you. Like, we can sit here and complain about certain things, man. We can sit here and point the finger at the man, or we can sit here and point the finger at women or men in relationships, you know. But at the end of the day, man, whatever it is we want to talk about, we have to take ownership of it. But because to not take ownership of it is to deny your true identity, man. It's to forfeit being God. I'm gonna say it again, man. I really need y'all to understand this, bro. Because once a man understands this, his life can never be the same. The moment you look at every single thing in your life, man, the moment you look at every single thing you've experienced in the past and you own it, even if it's hard for you to pinpoint on how could that be my fault, soul? You own it. You're embracing your power, bro. You're embracing your power. And I'm telling you, man, not only does it give you the master key to life, it automatically opens all doors. It automatically opens all doors, man. At that point, it's just a matter of you walking through those doors. Life is grand, bro. Like that's my mission, to let brothers know that life is grand. The experience is grand. You know what I'm saying, brothers? So my question is now that you know you're God, now that you know you walk in the image, what do you want to do with that power? You know, what is it you want to do? Do you want to build? Do you want to write? Do you want to inspire? And like, what is it you want to do? Like, if you could do anything you wanted to do, what is that thing you would do, man? You know what I'm saying? And it makes you realize how small. It makes you realize how small we've been thinking. You know, by wanting a few shiny things here and there, man. Like to desire that on the highest of levels. You have to understand, man. Those things are the byproduct. Like those things are the trinkets that just fall from you desiring much higher things. Desire something higher, man. Desire something outside of the box. I'm not sure if this was on a video I was talking about the other day, or if it was a brother I was talking to one-on-one, but I'm always referencing master key systems. Charles Sandel put, he talked about the courage to dare. The courage to dare, man. Like the courage to think outside of what your family taught you. The courage to think outside of what your boys think, what school taught you, or what you know, or what people that look like you think. The courage to think outside of that, man. The courage to seek freedom. Freedom. That should, to me, freedom should be the highest thing on everybody's list. Because once a man is free, now he can really sit back and work. Now he can really sit back and see what it is he really desires to be. What energy he really desires to move in. Seek freedom, bro. Seek freedom. Like I can remember a time, man, where the life I live now was just the thought of like, okay, like I understand who I am. I understand I can create anything. If I can create anything, let me create a level of freedom that's outside of the norm. Let me create a level of freedom that I can't see in anybody in my family, that I don't have any friends that operate like this. Like if I'm in the image, if I'm the image of God, let me create freedom from myself. I'm gonna tell you, man. Again, singular truth. Again, you have to understand when we put our minds to something. When we decide to have no other alternative world and we can lock into that, bro. Like when I say, and I'll use the word miraculous. Y'all know I don't believe in miracles, but just so you can understand what I'm saying, when you talk about crazy things happening, bro, you have to understand the power of our truth. You have to understand the power of our truth, man. You have to understand the power of you being God and saying, let there be light and nothing else. The world has to shift. The world has to do a certain thing just because you said that, man. I don't know, man. And I know what I'm saying, man. There's a lot of other things that I should be talking about before that, man. I just woke up this morning, man, and felt like sharing that with my brothers, man. But I'm gonna say this. Man. Like again, I asked the question, what would you do? Like, what is it that you want to? What do you want to do as a being that's living in the image of God, right? Like it's easy for our minds to start wondering and start saying, what is it that I really want to experience? How do I want to serve mankind? How do I want to give back to my brothers and sisters, man? It's easy for our minds to go there, brother, but the first place our minds should go is how do I tap into that thing? Because even though we're born with that ability to live in the image, pretty much all of us will lose it just because the world is doing what it's doing. Whether it's what your parents taught you, whoever taught you, it's about losing that, and it's about finding your way back home. Like that's part of the game of life, of losing it and finding your way back towards it. That's one of the objectives, man. And I'm gonna tell you this, bro. In order to do that, man, the first thing you must do, brothers, is connect. The first thing you must do, man, is reconnect back with that source. And I know the Bible says, seek ye first the kingdom of heaven and all this stuff. And all of these texts are really saying the same thing. They're saying, hey, you know what? Before you do anything, find your way back home. You want to find your way back home? You want to spend the rest of your days moving as a God? Then connect with that source. Reconnect with that source, man. What do you mean reconnect with that source, soul? I was just at church yesterday, man. I just gave him a 10%. I just did the whole shebang yesterday. Like I'm not connecting. I had my shiny suit on, man. I was smelling good in church. Y'all sister saying, man, I was shucking and jiving and all this stuff. Like you telling me I'm not connected? I'm not talking about that, man. When I'm talking about connected, bro, I'm talking about first commandment. I mean, the first of the greatest commandments. Put nothing above that energy. As simple as that sounds, as many people that believe they're following that doctrine, you got to understand, man, that a lot of people, I dare to say the far majority of people, man, have some other form of God over the Most High. Now, we think we don't because we don't have anything else that we prostrate to or pray to or chant to. But when we get off of our knees, when we walk out of that building, you got to understand, man, a lot of us are worshiping a lot of things, man. A lot of times when we walk out of mass, a lot of us are worshiping. I'll say it like this. A lot of us have made our employers our God. Think about it. A lot of us have, when I say that, I'm not even trying to have a conversation on entrepreneurship. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about as far as your well-being, your faith, you being able to sleep good at night. A lot of it is based on your job still being present. Instead of you waking up, giving that glory to the Most High, a lot of us are worshiping our jobs. A lot of us, your job say XYZ, you do it without fail. You base your livelihood on the health of that job instead of saying, you know what, okay, I understand this job or this career path or this entrepreneur journey is a vessel, but my foundation is source. You got to understand, if your foundation isn't that source, you're actually putting something else in that place. A lot of us put women in vagina. We're worshiping that. If you're clocking out of work, man, and the first thing you want to do is go to the strip club As soon as you leave the strip club, you want to go home and get on the gram and look at the super models or whatever they call themselves, right? If you get out of that, man, and on the weekends, you trying to hook up with every other female and you trying to have a rotation and knock every woman down. You have to understand, man, you've made that your God. You've made that your purpose. You put that at the very top of your hierarchical, if that's a word, totem pole. You know what I'm saying? So the first thing is to connect, man, and to just move in a solid energy. I was looking at this. I was on the gram yesterday, and I saw this chick, this little young girl, man, beautiful young girl, and she had some kind of disorder on her skin. I think she said she had lupus or something like that, man. Beautiful girl. She had some spots on her face or something. She was, and she was like, I'm praying to be healed from this. And then she said, this lady told me that if I'm going to pray, don't worry. And if I'm going to worry, don't pray. And when I heard her say that, man, like I was like, that's what's up, man. I've heard that before, but I was like, you can't do both. You can't do both. And of course, we could look at it as worry or pray and pray and don't worry. But you really can't walk with God and not be in that state. You know what I'm saying? Like in other words, prayer is consistent. Once you get in that state, you can never come out of that state, man. And sometimes the world will bring us out. Sometimes situations might make us take a step off the path for 5 or 10 minutes, right? But we gotta find our way back home. We gotta find our way back on path, man. And when you're in that state, you gotta understand either you're in that state or you're not. And what I mean by that is, as we navigate, the paths of life, as we spend our time here on this, in this third dimensional plane, it's like either we're going to be plugged in or not, meaning either we're going to respond to this world as the lower entities or governing bodies want us to respond, or we're going to respond as if we know who we are. It's a difference, man. It's a difference, bro. I'm going to say it again. Either we're going to respond like the world wants us to respond, or we're going to respond to this world with full knowledge of who we are, bro. Because the way you respond, again, is going to be creating the world around you. It's going to be creating that bubble around you, man. I'll be honest. That's the only thing I want brothers to know. Know who you are, man, and know how to create your own world. Know that this world has different things in place and laws and everything in place. But the governing body of the all, man, is what has jurisdiction over all. And you can literally live whatever existence you want to live. You know what I'm saying? I say this all the time, man. I say it when I'm speaking. I say it on my one-on-ones. And I say it to myself, man. There are a lot of times, man. There are a lot of days I wake up. I promise you this, man. I promise you this. There are a lot of days I wake up and I'm waking up, man. I'm coming here. I'm sitting in my office. I'm cutting this camera on. I'm sitting in my chair and I'm meditating. I'm just doing whatever I do. And I'll sit there for a second and I'll look around, man, and I'll be like, is my life, is it real? Like, is the experience that I'm having, is it real? Like, am I dreaming? I promise you this. And I'm not saying that as if, y'all know me, I'm not some wealthy guy. I don't have a garage full of foreign vehicles. I don't have a closet full of Gucci and Prada. I don't have none of that stuff. But my thing is, man, I've tapped into something that has allowed me to create this bubble and create an existence within it that I desire. Do I have hiccups in that bubble and all that? Yeah. Sometimes I'll let some people in my bubble that shouldn't be. Sometimes I'll have an experience that I don't desire. But at the end of the day, I'm taking ownership of it. And again, it's a reflection of me on my journey. If I see something that's going south in life, I'll say, you know what? There's a part of me that created that. Part of life. Let me create something. Let me create something to get me out of that and create a beautiful scenario. Life is grand, bro. Life is grand. So again, man, all I'm asking y'all brothers, man, on this Saturday morning is, what do you want to do as God? What do you want to do?